Hey friends, it's another vlog day. I am okay, so it looks really bright, but it's actually quite dreary today. So I felt myself mentally struggling. And I know last week, there's my two pups, Tilly and Mitty. I know last week when I was having a kind of an off mental day, I think it was last Tuesday, maybe it was last Wednesday, I don't remember. I decided to do a little vlog and take you guys along with my day. So it is already 10:30 in the morning. So I've already gotten a lot of my day started, but I thought I think I'm just going to do it. I think I'm going to do it today. I think we're going to do another vlog and I'm going to show you my ranunculus a little bit later and the progress that I've made on it. Right now, look at this. Look at Mitty is really good with Tilly, but she's a puppy and Mitty's 12. Anyway, it's raining. It's raining again. So it just stopped. We just have a break in the rain. I have not taken Tilly out, except Brad took her out this morning before he started work. So I want to take her out to walk. And while we're out there, I will show you a peek at my garden, which I actually did get planted, mostly planted yesterday. I do need to get some more herbs yet, and maybe there's a couple plants that I want to get, but I don't know that I'm actually going to be able to find the plants. I did not start seeds this year. I usually start my own seeds, but I just had a weird spring with Ian getting married, and just, you know, I was off this spring, and it's okay. And I've talked about this, but I've just been planting mostly I'm doing my zinnias by seed, but everything else is pretty much going to be by plants, like starters. So let's head outside and I'll take you guys along and I'll show you a peek at my spring garden. Go for a walk? Do you want to go for a walk? Yes? Yes? Let's go for a walk. Let's head out for a walk. Oh, you're so excited. Let's go. Let's go. Did you find a birdie? Were you chasing birdies? Were you chasing birdies, Tilly? Are they in the trees? It always amuses me how Pennsylvania, the whole Northeast actually, we go from like months of brown and gray. Everything is just brown and gray. And then all of a sudden, at some point, typically in like early May, everything just explodes into green. And it's like so weird on my senses. Like, I know it's gonna happen, but I always forget how drastic of a change it is and how wonderful it makes me feel. It is like my sense of sight is just overwhelmed with the brightness of the green. I just love it. It's such a good thing. And as much as I don't really care for our longer winters, it does make the return of the green like so much better, because you've not seen it for months and then it's there and it's like, oh man, I love it. I mean, look at this. Just like a forest floor of ferns everywhere you look. Also, I was just telling a friend of mine this morning, because we were talking, because we're both fighting. We're both fighting to keep our mental thoughts focused on the good things. I know. Some of you are like, you're probably thinking, come on, Amber, shut up about the weather, about the rain. Like, I know some of you don't deal with having, okay, I know that there are some people out there who the weather does not bother them at all. Like, they are completely oblivious to weather changes. But then there are other people like myself who are very aware and sensitive to the lack of sunshine. And I always have been. I remember even as like a teenager, that's when I can remember it starting to be an issue. So, be nice to me, okay? I'm just saying, I was talking with a friend this morning, and we were both talking about how it's been challenging just to keep our heads up and positive because of the weather, because it hasn't been sunny and we've got way more rain than normal. And I said to her, I'm going to romanticize this rain. I got to do it. Typically I get annoyed when if you get onto YouTube, you see all these videos about romanticizing your life, and a lot of them are coming from like a younger generation, like my daughter and son's generation. I'm a Gen Xer, so like we didn't grow up romanticizing our life at all. We grew up listening to depressing grunge alternative music, so that's just not something that comes naturally to me, like to romanticize my life. But I said to her, I think that I need to do it, because maybe if I romanticize the rain, I won't feel so irritated at it. And it's actually a practice in looking for the good things, right? That's basically what you're doing. It's just got a trendy label on it now. You romanticize it. So I'm going to try to do that today. I'm going to try to make this day just cozy and just lovely and warm. I don't know if I'm going to succeed, but I'm going to give it a shot. This is our blueberry patch. Yeah, there's quite a few blueberries on there. A couple of the bushes do not have many, but the majority of them do. So that's fantastic. We'll be harvesting blueberries like the very beginning of July. I'm going to take you inside my garden area, but look how nice those beds look. I love it. I feel accomplished. I really didn't feel like working on this yesterday, but I drank a second cup of coffee in the afternoon and I made myself come out and we got it done. Tilly and I got it done. Tilly actually, yeah, it was interesting with her. It's like having a very busy toddler who's into everything. Okay, so raspberries. We do nothing. They just come back. Brad prunes them. He'll prune these at the end of, it's the beginning of July. Whenever they stop producing, he'll prune them back, and then we'll get a second harvest in August or September. Can't remember. Put my tomatoes in here. I just put these little things over it until I get my actual tomato stakes in, because Tilly was running across this bed yesterday, and I didn't want her breaking off any of my tomato plants. This is lemon balm salvia, and then these are going to be all dahlias. I put dahlia tubers in this bed. I put dahlia tubers in this bed. This is my perennial bed, which is mostly herbs, except for this columbine. And there's lupin there. But everything else, I have like oregano and lemon balm and parsley, and I have several echinacea plants, and I have some feverfew back there. And then I threw in a couple dahlias as well. Over there I have my cucumbers, and I'm going to be putting something else on the other side of that trellis. Dahlias in that bed. That is a big climbing rose bush. This is my zinnia bed. Put my peppers in here. I always try to rotate my beds, so I'm doing that this year. These are eggplants, and 2 more eggplant. And then this is going to be an herb bed. I already have some dill that's self-seeded. That has nothing in it yet. that is my crazy asparagus patch that I literally put the lawnmower in and mowed down last week. I was so frustrated with it. It's basically just gone back to like yard. It's been in here for a really long time. So I got to figure out what to do with this because it stresses me out. It stresses me out every May. I mean, we still get asparagus, but it's like filled with grass and weeds. And then I put some zucchini in here. And this last bed has just some green onions growing, and then this is empty. So I am actually, oh no, Tilly, look at this. This one, no, out. See, she knows she's not supposed to do, oh, she's got the zoomies. Oh boy, here we go. This is literally life with a puppy. Life with a puppy. Tilly. Okay, I'm gonna have to go and take care of this. Okay, so there is a herb and fiber festival. That's what it's called. But I honestly don't think they have fiber at this festival. I think it's mostly just like herbs and plants, and people bring their stuff that they've started. It's kind of like a farmer's market. I don't know. I've never been to it before. So I'm going to check it out because it's about an hour from here, but we're going to be in the area. We're going to be in that area on Saturday. So I'm going to go check it out. And I'm hoping to find some different herbs because I haven't been able to find them locally. I think I waited too long. Normally, like I said, I start my stuff from seed, but I think I waited too long, and everything that I went and looked at yesterday was really leggy or dying, or it just wasn't in existence at any of the nurseries I went to. So I'm hoping I can find some stuff there that I can finish planting my garden then next week. But yeah, that's it. And I know that in a month or so, this garden's gonna be full, and there's gonna be lots of beautiful flowers. It's like the magic of seeds. Oh, and I have this bed back here up against the greenhouse, and which we don't use. I plant sunflowers in this, and I have it about half planted with 3 different varieties of sunflowers. Okay, so that's it on the garden stuff. I am going to corral Tilly, and we're gonna head back in and try to work on the coziness of this rainy, chilly day. All right, so I thought I would show you guys my knitting. I'm really enjoying this vlog format type video right now because, well, I think mostly because I just haven't had, like, I'm not getting a lot of knitting done. I am finding a hard time sitting and knitting right now because, because I've been busy with gardening stuff and just spring things. So I just haven't found myself having a lot of time to just sit and knit, like dedicated knitting time. But I am working. I'm actually almost done with my ranunculus. And so I'll show this real quick. I finished up the sleeve last night. Now this sleeve is actually different than the pattern states. You are supposed to do decreases through the arm and then do an I-cord edging. But I tend to like sleeves that are not decreased as long as they're not too big. And then I did a really quick decrease at the bottom. And so I went from like the 49 stitches down to 33 in one decrease row or round. And then I just did some ribbing. So I cast on this sleeve this morning, I think it was. So I've gotten a fair amount done today on this. And yeah, I was a little bit nervous I was going to run out of the Kelborn Woolens. This is Kelborn Woolens DK in the lilac colorway, and I'm holding it double with this Knitting for Olive mohair. Sorry. I think this is Artichoke Purple, I think is the name of this. I thought I was maybe going to run out of this, but I'm not. I'm going to have enough, which is great. So, oops. Yeah, this is gonna, I wish I actually had this done today because it's so cold. Like I really should, this shirt I have on is not warm enough for the day. I need to put something warmer on, and this would be so cozy. So I'm looking forward to getting this done. I did not think I would get to wear it because of when I started it. I started it, I think in the beginning of May, but I don't know. I'm starting to wonder. I may be able to wear this. If not, it's going to be put back until fall. And then I wanted to show you guys a quick update on my Cottage Ripple crochet blanket that I showed you in last week's vlog. And I think I've put on 1, 2, 3, 4, like 3.5 or 2.5. I can't remember where I was last time. So I haven't worked on this a whole lot because I've just been so determined to get that ranunculus finished. But I know I've added the blue, this pink, and then this like magenta color since I vlogged last week. And so, yeah, I'm not getting a lot done on this, but that's okay. Blankets are always long-term projects for me. Crochet is not as much of a long-term project as like knitting blankets are, but they still always seem to take me a while because I typically only get in the mood to work on Afghans or blankets at certain times of the year. And I got an exciting package, so I went out and got the mail. I had not got, what's today? Today is Wednesday. I don't know if we even got the mail yesterday. And we didn't have mail on Monday because it was Memorial Day. So I think this might have been in the box since Saturday. This is something I've been waiting for and then forgot about because I ordered it in April and I knew it wasn't going to be shipped out until the beginning of May. And then I received an email saying that it was going to be even later because the wool was not, or the yarn had not come back from the mill yet. And so it was like, okay, that's fine. But anyway, this is a little treat. I treated myself to something from Barrett Wool Co. Let me get it opened and then we'll talk about it. I'll show you. Have you guys ordered from Barrett Wool Co. before? I have ordered several times, maybe 2 or 3, and they always ship in these nice drawstring baggies. They're like this lightweight canvas with the logo on. And I had ordered the Hopscotch Bunny Kit. This is Susan B. Anderson's company, Barrett Wool Co. Okay, and here is the yarn. I actually forget what this bunny looks like because it was back in the beginning of April when I ordered this. So it came with everything that I need. There's the safety eyes, and that's probably, this black thread is probably for like sewing a nose on. And then I get a code to download the pattern off of Ravelry for free. Oh, but then I also get this. Oh, this is nice. I didn't realize I'd be getting this too. This is actually the pattern in book form. And I'm trying to remember if there's enough yarn in here for both of those outfits or just one. I can't honestly remember. So let me show you the yarn. This is the main color. This is going to be the main color of the bunny. This seems like a lot of yarn. I feel like I'm definitely going to be able to make both of those outfits. Main body, and then the white is for like the nose and I think the hands and maybe, I don't know. It's like the contrast color of the body. And then these are the colors that I will use to make the clothing. There was also an option to add the buttons for this sweater here, but I did not select that option because I actually have a very extensive button collection. I probably won't be able to find 3 of the exact same button, but I think what happened is I thought about ordering the buttons and then I just ended up selecting the kit without the buttons and then I purchased it and didn't even realize, but I don't even know because like I said, this was back in April at some point, maybe even the beginning of April. But it's no big deal. I may not be able to find 3 matching buttons in my vintage button stash, which did I say? Because, sorry, my camera, my phone, which is what I used to film, it ran out of storage. So I got cut off. It stopped recording and I had to delete some video. And so I can't remember where I left off, but I have my grandma's old button stash. And so there's a lot of really old vintage buttons in it, but not many of them match. Do you know what I mean? Like there's not really sets. So I'm not sure. If I want to get 3 matching buttons, I will just get 3 matching buttons at some point. It's not a big deal. So this came, I'm really excited about this. I don't knit a lot of stuffies. I think I find it a little fiddly, but I really want to learn to love it because I think they're adorable, but also I'm at the age and stage of life where I could potentially start having grandchildren at any time. I have 2 kids who are married, like both of my sons are married. The one's been married almost 4 years. The second, Ian's only been married since March, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like I would love to knit. I would like to enjoy knitting these little stuffies because I want to be able to knit them for my future grandchildren. I knitted a little bunny that I think was, the pattern was from Susan B. Anderson, but I don't think I bought a kit. I think I just bought the pattern and I gave that to my friend's daughter and she really liked it. So I want to enjoy knitting stuffies more. I don't do it very often. So I have all this yarn and I don't want to put this off. I want to get started on it because that's what I do a lot of times. I get really inspired and I order the yarn and then I don't actually knit the project right away. And so the yarn sets on my bookshelf and it doesn't get done. I have been working on turning Ian's room into my craft studio. Now, that was hard at first. I didn't touch his room for a while after he moved out, but he literally lives like 5 minutes from us right now. The house they're renting is like 5 minutes from us. And so it's not like I need to keep his room for when he comes back to visit because he lives 5 minutes down the road from us. And honestly, once he moved all of his stuff out, it was just his old bed and a couple of random pieces of furniture. So it's not like there was anything really sentimental in that room. And that room had been Sergei's before it was Ian's. It was the basement room. So, you know, the older boys would take that room. So then it was an empty room and I decided, I was like, should we make a guest room? But we really don't have people who come stay with us. We have one friend who comes and it's easy just to we have a nice blow up mattress just to put that in that room. So I decided the thing that would make the most sense would be to just turn that into a craft area. More a sewing area because I don't really sew that much. It's one of those things where I really want to, and I just like to spend my free time knitting. So I'm kind of intimidated by sewing. I've done some sewing, but I'm not overly comfortable with sewing or my sewing machine. And so usually my sewing machine has just been shoved in the closet, not shoved in the closet, but stored in the closet. And I would have to do any sewing at the kitchen table, which, you know, you make a mess and then you got to clean it up because that's where you eat. So when this room came open, Brad's like, why don't you turn this into your area for all of your craft supplies and stuff? And so that is what I've been working on. It's been a very slow process. I haven't even used that space yet as it's intended to be used because it's not done yet. We did hang some happy lights. I call them happy lights, like from the ceiling because it's a basement room. And it's kind of, I'm not a big fan of being in the basement, to be completely honest. And so I don't know how much I'm actually going to use it, but it is nice to consolidate all of my art and crafting supplies into one space. Now, I did leave let me show you here. I'm going to flip this and I'm going to show you. Hello. So I'm leaving my yarn up here. I have these two bookcases where I keep, this is the majority of my yarn. I do have some downstairs, but the majority of it is upstairs. And the reason that I do that is because I love to be able to see my yarn. If it were downstairs, it would be out of my sight. And I walk in and out of my bedroom multiple times during the day, and I look at my yarn multiple times each day because it's just like, it's beautiful and it inspires me and it makes me feel creative and it keeps me wanting to create. And I'm afraid if it was all in the basement and I wasn't looking at it as often, I don't know. I just love having it where I can see it. So even though I thought about moving these down there, I decided to keep them up here because I want to be able to see them. I do have some of the yarn downstairs that I don't use as often, like my cotton stash and some of my acrylic stash that I use when I'm making stuff for other people. And everything else, though, is up here. That is enough crafty talk right now. Maybe I will show you guys. I thought about doing a whole video on that room transformation down in the basement, but I don't know that I'll do that because that's going to be, I don't know when it's actually going to be done, like a finished space, because I'm not really in a rush. Because when you knit, you can knit anywhere. It's not like you have to be in a certain area. If I sewed more, I feel like I would use the space more. Do you know what I'm saying? So, okay. I'm going to stop talking now. And I did have a second cup of coffee when I came in from walking Tilly. I was cold and I was feeling very tired. So I did have a second cup of coffee. But I think for now, I'm going to go change out my laundry. And I'm also trying to get ready for an upcoming camping trip, but it won't stop raining. Like, it's been raining since we came in. It's been raining nonstop. And so I don't want to be carrying, so I'm trying to get the camper set up for the season, and I don't want to be carrying out like the linens and all that and them getting wet and then being in the camper. So I don't know. I'm hoping maybe tomorrow it stops raining so I can do that. So I think I'll go switch out the laundry and maybe work on this a little bit longer before I have to start thinking about dinner time. Okay, so this is going to be my little space. As I said, it's in the basement because we originally built this room for Sergey. So when we built this room, to have the room be up to code as a bedroom, we had to put a full-size window. So it does have one full-size window that lets some light in, but it's also has a big window well, so it doesn't leave a ton of light in. So there's not a lot of natural light down here. Hi, Tilly. But it's a really nice space. What are you chewing on? And I have a couple of chairs down here. That cupboard has crafty stuff. I've had that thing for years. I found it. Where did I even find that? I don't know if it was a thrift store or a consignment store. And whoever owned it had like decoupage. Is that how you pronounce it? This fabric. This is like a fabric quilt. And they had put it on there, and I think they were going to do something with the sides because it is squared off, which I haven't even done anything with that. I actually would like to paint some folksy flowers along the side panels of this, but it hasn't been a priority. And then I have that dresser that it's an older dresser we just bought off of friends who were moving and we're getting rid of it. And then I got that mirror on MacBid for $4. This thing is heavy duty. I had to have Brad hang it because it had to be hung with special things because it's such a heavy mirror. And yeah, MacBid is where I got these lights, the string lights. And this was I found this at Hobby Lobby. No, it wasn't Hobby Lobby. It was maybe Home Goods. I don't remember. No, it was Hobby Lobby, but it kind of looks like the knit stitch. Do you see that? Lily noticed that. She was with me whenever I bought this. And I have my drum carder there that I hardly ever use because I hardly ever spin anymore, which is really sad. And then I'm going to leave the sewing machine out here. This is going to be like the sewing table. And then I got a bulletin board off of MacBid for $2. And this is just to kind of make like a mood board type situation. But this is the space. And then we've got Tilly. This is my little space that is mostly, I have 2 closets. This is storage. That is our central vacuum system right there. But I also have, I have this e-spinner and I have some bins of fiber and other yarny, fibery things. And then in this closet, I have my fiber and wool stash, some of it up there. And then down here, this is going to have shelving in it eventually. Brad's going to build me some shelving in there because what I'd like to be able to do is just stack my fabric in there. Because right now my fabric is actually out in another part of the basement in storage in Tupperware or like Rubbermaid bins. And I do have a lot of fabric because there was a time in my life where I thought I was going to quilt. And so I had bought quilting cotton through some de-stashes and then I think there was a store online that was going out of business. So I bought quite a bit. And I have all of that. And then anytime I go to the thrift store, I'm looking for fabric or old sheets. And same with Lily. So we have a fairly decent fabric stash that is stored in Rubbermaid bins. But I just wanted to share this little space. I like the string lights. They always make things more cheery. And we'll see. I don't know. We'll see how much I use this. I'm not sure. The jury is still up on that. What are you doing? What are you doing?